Hello everyone, today we will learn and discuss about the Jainism and Buddhism in this video. The 6th century BC is regarded as an important epoch in world history, which saw the emergence of thinkers like Mahavira and Gautam Buddha among many others in India. Jainism and Buddhism emerged as the most potent religious reform movement. In part 1, we'll learn about the sources, causes for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism, main teachings, doctrines, and impacts of Jainism. As I said before, the 6th century BCE is regarded as an important landmark in Indian history. It was a period of discontent against the existing social and religious order of the Brahmanical system, which was becoming more and more rigid and complex. This discontent gave birth to new ideas and philosophical principles that led to the establishment of a new religious sects. The most popular of these were Jainism and Buddhism. Now we'll move further to learn about the sources of the study of Jainism and Buddhism. Literary sources gave us valuable information about the period which saw the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. These sources are the ANGAS and Tripitakas and the JATAKAS. The ANGAS, the original teachings of the Vardhaman Mahavira and the founder of Jainism, were compiled in 14 books called the Purvas. Later on, this body of knowledge was transformed into 12 new books called the ANGAS, which form the most important part of Jain literature. There are 12 Angams, which are the explanations to Angas. These have been written in the Ardhamagdi and the Prakrit dialects. From these writings, we can get to know much about the period between the 6th and the 4th century BCE. Now we'll learn about the next source, that is the Tripitaka. Buddhist sacred literature is known as the Tripitakas, that is the three baskets. The Tripitakas comprises the Sutta Pitaka, the Vinaya Pitaka, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka. The Vinaya Pitaka contains rules and regulations of monastic life. The Sutta Pitaka contains the saying of Lord Buddha, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka contains the interpretations of Buddhist doctrines. The Tripitakas is considered the encyclopedia of Buddhist culture. It is written in Pali and was composed after the death of Gautam Buddha. Here we'll learn about the another source of the time, that is the Jatakas. The Jatakas are the stories of the Buddha's previous lives. There are about 550 such stories about the life of Buddha in his previous births. Through the Jatakas, we get the idea of the social and economic life during the 3rd and the 4th centuries BCE. The Jatakas' tales teach about the moral values. The stories were written in Pali. The subjects from these stories were frequently used in sculpture on the railings of the stupas and the paintings throughout the Buddhist world. Here we'll go ahead to learn about the causes for the rise of the Jainism and Buddhism. There are some factors which favor the rise and the growth of Jainism and Buddhism, like reactions against ritualism, corruptions in religion, rigid caste system, difficult language, political situation, and agricultural economy. About these all we'll learn in detail. So here we'll discuss each point one by one. So first we'll go ahead with reaction against ritualism. Religious ceremonies by then had become very expensive beyond the means of ordinary people. Some priests hardly realized the suffering of the common man. This was an important cause that gave rise to faiths that were simple and inexpensive. Next one, corruption in religion. Corruption crept into religious practices in order to extract money. The priests encouraged ordinary people to perform yajnas and conduct household rites beyond their means. Kshatriya rulers protested against the dominance of such practices. The common man could not reconcile to this attitude to the priests. Both Jainism and Buddhism were founded by two Kshatriya princes. Third one we are going to learn, that is rigid caste system. The division of the society into Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras had become rigid. It did not allow any social mobility. A person of one caste could not become a member of the other caste. There were restrictions on the basis of caste on food, drinks and marriage. Interchange of caste was impossible. Here we'll move ahead to learn some more causes. Like difficult language. Sanskrit was considered a sacred language. Most of the Vedic literature was composed in Sanskrit. The priestly class gave discourses and chanted mantras in this language, which was the common people found difficult to understand. Therefore, many people began to look for an alternative religion that they could understand better. And the next one, political situation. In the 6th century BC, Magda was ruled by Bimbisara and later Ajatashatru. Both these rulers were liberal and tolerant. They too were free from Brahmanic influence and they contained certain social evils in their kingdoms. When the opportunity came, they patronized both Jainism and Buddhism. We'll move to the last one, that is agricultural economy. Killing of the animals to perform sacrifices was against the interest of farmers in the Gangetic Valley. The use of iron had made the animal drawn plowing popular. Such farmers needed a religion that would give protection to animals. Both the Jainism and Buddhism preached non-violence and were against animal sacrifices. The doctrines of the Jains were preached by the saints or acharyas called Tirthankaras. Mahavira, also known as the Vardhaman, was the 24th and the last Tirthankaras of Jainism. He was born into the royal family in what is now Bihar, India. At the age of 30, he left his home and pursued of a spiritual awakening. For the next 12 and a half years, he practiced intense meditation and severe penance, after which he achieved enlightenment. He traveled all over India for next 30 years to teach his philosophy, which is based on ahimsa, satya, astya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. Mahavira attained nirvana after his physical death at the age of 72. He was one of the most popular propagator of Jainism, and he is regarded as a reformer of Jainism rather than its founder. About 12 years of penance and meditation helped him in gaining spiritual knowledge. He became a jinna or conqueror of self. His philosophy is known as the Jainism and his followers are called Jains. Jainism did not accept the authority of the Vedas. The Jain do not worship God. Jainism preaches 5 vows. It is said the only 5th vow was added by Mahavira. A Jain householder has taken the following 5 vows are ahimsa, that is non-violence, astya, not stealing, satya, not telling a lie, aparigraha, not possessing property, brahmacharya, practicing chastity. Non-injury to the living beings, especially to humans, animals, plants, and insects, is important in Jain philosophy. According to Mahavira, violence is of 3 kinds. Physical violence like killing, causing injury or pain. Second, violence in words or harsh language. And third one, mental violence like ill will towards others. Jains believe in the sanctity of the life or the right of every living being to live. Beside the five vows and other general doctrines of Jainism, Jains are expected to have the knowledge of nine truths. According to Jain philosophy, the knowledge of these nine truths is essential and only renunciation is the shortest way to salvation. These nine truths have central places in the philosophy of Jainism. The nine truths are Ziva, Ajiva, Purya, Pap, Ashtraya, Samvar, in the way of the karma, and the bandha, that is bondage, nijara, that is destructions of the karmas, and moksha, salvation. Now we'll move ahead to learn the doctrines of Jainism, and we'll start with the karma. Belief in karma. Jain believe in the theory of karma, that one should be responsible to one's own karma or actions. Good deeds alone liberate a man from the cycle of life and death. The next will move to eternal soul. They believe in the immortality of the soul, that's Atma. Belief in moksha. It means freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Triratna, the three jewels which every person should possess are right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Next, we'll move to the belief in equality. Mahavira laid a stress on equality between men and women. All living beings, from the tiny insect to the highest from the life, should be shown compassion. Now we'll move to the last one, that is the belief in penance. To die of starvation was considered a virtue. Jainism lays so much stress on the severe penance that very few people could lead, such as austeric life. So now we'll move further to learn the causes of the spread of the Jainism. First, we'll learn about the local dialect. Mahavira adopted the language of the common people, that is Prakrit, instead of Sanskrit to preach his doctrines. Another one is royal patronage. Jainism received royal patronage. Chandragupta Maurya is said to have been converted to Jainism in the later years of his rule. In the 5th century AD, Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas also patronized Jainism here. The next one is saints. There were many devout Jain saints like Kalkacharya, who lived in Ujjain and made it a center of Jainism. Another Jain saint, that Bhadrabahu, took Jainism to Karnataka. The last one appealed to the people. People found the religion attractive as it was based on austerity, simplicity, and spirituality. There were no animal sacrifices, nor was there any class distinction. Jains are divided into two major sects, the Gambras, sky-clad, and the Shwetamras, white-clad. Each of these sects is also divided into subgroups. Shwetamras, or the white-clads, were led by Stulbhadra. They remained in the Magda. They wore white clothes and covered their face with a small white cloth to avoid killing the tiniest of insects or germs that might enter the nose while breathing. They fasted but did not believe in extreme penance and austerity. The Gambras followed the Bhadrabahu. They were sky-clad and did not believe in the covering their bodies. According to the Gambras, living without clothes signifying detachment from the worldly pleasures. According to them, art could not avoid killing life forms of not wearing clothes, because while washing clothes, many germs would get killed. They were the orthodox followers of the Mahavira. They kept long fast and led an austere life. Jainism believes in a spirit of accommodation and equality. Its approach was pragmatic. It therefore had a profound impact on political and social life of the people. A great blow to caste system, impetus to work on public welfare, spirit of ethics in the family developed, reform in Hinduism, end of supremacy of Brahmins, compassion for man and beast, development of the spirit of peace, demoralizing influence on fighting spirit of army. Now we will discuss about some factors which were responsible for the decline of Jainism. Jainism preached rigid austerity. It rose a time when Buddhism also existed. The theory of ahimsa was extended even to wearing of clothes. These factors prevented it from getting popular support. The religion did not spread to foreign countries. It did not have any missionaries' efforts. Jainism did not get royal patronage from contemporary rulers. In contrast, Buddhism received a large-scale support from Ashokas, Harshas, and Kanishkas. Though Jainism advocated equality of man, it did not do away totally with the high and low position in society. During the Gupta period and in later years, Hinduism once again became popular. Therefore, Jainism remained restricted to a few pockets in the country. Thank you so much. We'll be back with another chapter.